Idaho Falls Pediatrics, proudly supporting kids in our community and 7 questions with Emmy.
Hey guys, welcome back to Some Questions with Emmy. I'm Emmy Eaton, and my guest today has released 10 albums and has had multiple hit songs like Wink, No Doubt About It, and more. Country singer Neal McCoy, thank you so much for chatting with me today.
It's great to see you. I love your smile. You made me feel happy, even though I wasn't already happy.
Well, you make me happy that I can do this interview with you.
Thank you very much. I've seen some of the people you interview, and I was excited when I was even asked to get a chance to talk to you.
Well, I was excited when you said yes. Are you ready to get started with the questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, question number 1. You have said the Pledge of Allegiance every day and invite your Facebook followers to join in. Where did you come up with this idea and how long have you been doing it?
You know what? About 8.5 years ago, the Republicans were trying to figure out who their nominee was going to be to run for president of the United States, and the Democrats were doing the same thing. And they had already started going back and forth, calling each other names and figuring out what. And so I told my wife, I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get on my Facebook page, and I'm going to say the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States of America, and just see what will happen with that. Because I thought, so, oh gosh, somebody's going to get on there and say, oh my gosh, is he okay? What's wrong with him? Why is he doing this? I said it one time, and some people were writing, they said that's pretty cool. Yeah, what made you do that? And I said, well, I just wanted to do it because I do love this country. My mom is from another country. She's from the Philippine Islands, and so she taught us 3 kids when we were young to love and respect our flag and the country of the United States of America. And we did that. And our mom was sick at the time, and she ended up passing a couple of years after that. But that's what instilled the thing for me to go and say the Pledge of Allegiance. And now people have just caught on, and they love saying it with us. And some morning I'm going to get you to say it with me too.
I will definitely.
Okay, good.
What is your favorite thing about being a performer?
As goofy and corny as this sounds, it is being able to bring joy to other people. In other words, so if I'm on a stage and the band and I we're pretty good at what we do, we make people smile and laugh and just have a really good time for however long they're at our show. And just if you, I think in this life we're in, and you'll end up living a long time, and you'll catch up to how old I am someday, and hopefully somebody can ask you maybe the same question, and you can just say, you know what, I do these interviews because I think they're fun, and I want to bring something that people can smile about and get to hear that may not get to hear anywhere else. And that's how our shows are. We want people to laugh and have a good time and just bring joy to
them. Yeah. I live in Idaho and we are famous for our potatoes and we're hoping that you can come. Have you ever been here before? And what's your favorite way to have one of our famous potatoes?
I'm just a standard baked potato guy, and although I have to take that back, mashed potatoes probably is my favorite. But I'm a baked potato guy, but as long as they don't get too fancy with it, just butter and cheese and maybe some bacon bits.
And have you been here before?
Yes, ma'am. We've been to different places in Ohio, in Idaho. I'm sorry. I don't know exactly all the cities we've been to, but we played a lot of fairs and county fairs and festivals, and just I think maybe a couple of theaters there around across the state. We love being up there. A good friend of mine, Carl Malone, used to play for basketball, major NBA for the Utah Jazz, and he was married to a girl from that was Miss Idaho back in the day. And so I always thought that was pretty cool. And even one time, I'm going to tell you this, we used to send each other gag gifts for our birthday, and I sent him a bunch of watermelons, and they just like 300 or 400 watermelons. It was his birthday, so they unloaded them in his front yard out by his pool. And then in Nashville, Tennessee, I was there for my birthday, and he sent me a whole big old semi truck of Idaho potatoes.
That's awesome.
That's great. He got me back pretty good. Yeah.
What is the best and most difficult part about being famous?
The best part is that you're famous. And when you're young, you think that's what I'm doing. I'm going to get famous so everybody knows me. And then when you realize how much work it's going to take to get there and how much work you're going to have to do to remain there, at least in the music business, And so I enjoy it. Again, I try to be nice to everybody every time I meet somebody, even if I'm in a bad mood or I've got my family with me. I always stop and I take pictures and I sign autographs. And my family is so good and they've known kind of what kind of person I am. So they know if we go to a restaurant or if we're just out walking and somebody says, "Can I take a picture or can we do this or that?" And my family will just move along and I can do it. So to answer your question, it's tough sometimes being famous because of the way that you would love to treat everybody, and sometimes the people that you don't treat the nicest or don't spend the most time with is your family because you understand that they will allow you to do that. But the second part of that question is the toughest part of being somebody famous is that you have to stay out there, and sometimes it takes away some time that you would really like to spend with your family. So you got kind of balance or weigh it and see if there's a way that you can and be successful and still take care of your family. And so far, my wife and I have been married 43 years, and now we have three grandsons, 12, pretty close to your age, 12, 9, and 3. So that's the good side of the business is that we get to help from a financial standpoint. They're going to be in pretty good shape because we help take care of them.
Yeah, you get to spoil all your grandkids.
That's exactly. You said that. That's right.
If you could perform with anybody, who dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh my gosh, I grew up being a huge Michael Jackson fan. So I wouldn't be able to perform exactly with him because he's a much better dancer. But when I grew up and I was about 9 or 10 years old, Michael Jackson and our birthdays were less than a month apart. So when I was growing up and I was watching, they used to have an old show on called American Bandstand, and Michael Jackson was on there with the Jackson Five, and I was about 10 and he was 10, and I was watching him sing and dance, and that's what kind of made me start thinking, you know what, that would be so much fun. And I think really, Emmy, one of the things I was thinking about is if I was singing and dancing, then I wouldn't have to do homework. But it didn't help. I still had to do homework.
Yeah,
But Michael
if
Jackson
only
would be the answer.
if I can just do interviews all day and not do homework. I still have to do my homework though for my interviews.
Well, you could do interviews all day because you're very good at it. You're very relaxed. You smile. You're engaged. You listen to what I'm talking about, and that's always important when you do an interview as an interviewer, which is you in this case. Always listen to what they're saying and react to what they're saying, and you do that well. I don't know if you got that from Nate or from who you got that from, but you do a great job of it already at a young age.
Thank you. My teacher might be mad if I don't do my homework though.
I understand my teachers were too because I would tell them, look, they would say, where's your homework? I said, I'm going to be Michael Jackson. I don't need to do homework, and then that never worked.
Yeah, I'll tell Mrs. Bishop if you're watching this. You heard what
That's
Neal
right.
said. What is the biggest thing that you've learned as a performer?
I think to engage the people, to that when you're on a stage, no matter if it's big or small stage, try and somehow reach to every person in the building or in the arena or in the stadium or when you're playing. Make them feel like, don't forget them. Just because when you're performing, you have all the people that are around the stage. It's real easy to stay locked in on them and make eye contact and smile and all that. But you need to extend that to the last person. Wave to all those people up there. Make sure that they know that you do understand that they're in the building. And that's one of the things that we've been able to do well. And I think that's one of the reasons that we still continue to keep working is because people want to that book us that set our dates. They want to have us back because they know that we're going to work hard to make everybody happy, not just the people that they can see from the stage.
Yeah. Could you share a piece of advice that might help me and our audience?
Well, I think you know what? Do you mean your viewing audience?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I can help you. You are really in tune. You've got it figured out, and you're precious. You're smart, and you ask good questions that require good answers. Now, sometimes that's where I struggle on the good answer part. But if I do, it's not because you're not asking good questions. I would totally leave you alone. If I would watching you and trying to give you some criticism, I would just say, just don't mess with her. Just turn the camera on, get somebody for her to talk to, and she'll do fine.
Thank you so much for talking with me.
You are so welcome. I was excited when we got your email
I was
and I went
excited
and
when you said yes.
well, when I researched you and I saw also all the famous people, really famous people that you've talked to, and at other points in their career, and I just think you're a doll. Now, how old are you again?
I'm 10. I'm turning 11 in June.
Oh, happy early birthday!
Thank
I knew
you.
you were right between our grandsons who are 12 and 9, so you're right in between them.
Yeah.
And I just think you're doing a wonderful job, and I don't know who's helping you get out, let people know that you're out there and that you're doing these interviews, whether that's your dad or your mom or whoever. I figured somebody in that room, but they're doing a great job, and I think it's very engaging. And if somebody says, well, what am I going to talk to a 10-year-old about? I think y'all have conquered that too, because you give us an opportunity to talk. Some of us, some more than others, me being one of them, will talk too much. So I'm glad you held it to a few questions, or else I would just talk the whole time.
I'm the one. I would talk the whole time.
Yeah,
Thank
well,
you
I would
so
listen
much.
the whole time you're talking.
Thank you so much, Neal.
You're welcome, Emmy. Good luck to you, and it looks like you're off to a great start, and I have no doubt that you'll try to be doing this for quite a while if this is what you want to do. But what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to
Probably
do?
be a reporter and also a mom.
Oh, good for you. That's two very important things.
Just my babies can do the weather with me.
Oh yeah. Do you get to do the weather with anybody?
I've done it once with Janice Dean in New York on
Oh
Fox
wow.
News.
Well then, yeah, from Fox, you bet. Well then, well, here's the bad part. You started at the top. Now you're gonna have to work your way down.
Oh, you're boosting me up there.
Thanks so much for watching. Remember, new 7 questions interviews are posted every Thursday. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Love you guys. Bye! Idaho Falls Pediatrics, proud of supporting kids in our community, and 7 questions with Emmy.